Welcome to this blustery Monday and for another Move with Eve. We're going to focus on our feet today. We don't give them as much attention as they deserve unless they cause us pain. But they basically hold us up from the earth, keep us grounded and stable. So the first thing we're going to do is look at an acupressure point on the foot, and it's the Be Well spot. It induces calm. It's known as the gushing spring, and it's kidney 1 acupressure point. So we need a foot, dust it off. Now what I'd like you to do is just relax the ankle and curl your toes in, and you'll see just at the ball of the foot there's like an impression where your thumb just comfortably sits, and then relax the foot, and that's kidney 1, that's your Be Well spot. And what I want you to do with your thumbs I should say, do support your thumbs. You're just gently going to compress onto that spot. And whilst you just softly compress, why don't you take the time just to notice your breath? Just check that the breath is flowing through your nose, that it has a real sense of ease and gentle calm. And maybe under your thumbs, your Be Well spot, kidney 1, feels a little tender. Maybe you find it a little frustrating just to hold a soft compression. You might prefer to maybe just circle the thumb on this spot. Do what you feel is right. I'm just going to bring my foot a little closer to the screen so that you can see my foot. And I turn my toes in, curl them in, and it's about there. Like my finger just wants to go in there. So that's your kidney 1. You can follow like a V line from the base of the big toe, the base of the second toe, to get to your Be Well spot. So you should have all have worked on one foot, so let's work on the other foot. So dust it off, curl your toes in, and there be that lovely spot, an indentation where the thumb just comfortably sits. So support your thumb, so again, thumb on thumb, and you're just gently going to compress into this acupressure point. And as you just softly compress, just soften through your shoulders, the crown of the head lifting up, and just that sense of sitting and resting for a moment where you can really enjoy the sense of calm, and knowing that by compressing it softly into kidney 1, the gushing spring, the Be Well spot, you're helping yourself ground. You're encouraging calmness for your inner self. And it's such a simple thing to do. So now that we've nurtured our feet a little, let's think about the big toe hinge. And we use the big toe when we're walking to push off. It's like a lovely spring. We roll over our foot, big toe comes down, and we push off. So we're going to just kind of strengthen that joint a little. Lots of us don't tend to move into the big toe joint as much as we really should do. It's not as flexible as it could be. So let's generate some flexibility within the toe joints, especially the big toe joints. So this isn't a balance competition, okay? So do use a wall. I'm going to use the chair, and you're just going to come to standing. Have that upward lift from the crown of the head, And just kind of notice as you're standing here, where's your weight on your feet? Are you back in your heels? Are you forward on your toes? Maybe because we focused on our be well spot, you could transition your weight there. Just noticing. And now what I'd like you to do is you're just going to raise your heels and come up onto your toes. Really focusing on being within that big toe joint and slowly lower. So you're going to lift yourself up, might be a bit wobbly, and lower yourself down. We're going to do this a few times. And as you do this, I really want you to notice whether your toes, especially the big toes, like this or not. Do they differ from side to side? Does one side enjoy it more? Does it have more range on one side, or is there equality within the joints? So I've noticed that on my right foot as I do this, my weight moves over to my little toe. So I really need to consciously try and think about my weight being more within the big toe joint. And you'll be feeling the calf muscles engaging. And the calf muscles are like the lower body's pump. They act like the heart to get the blood and all the other fluids that we have in our body up, back up, away from our toes and feet. So super important. You can do this when you're making a cup of tea, when you're brushing your teeth perhaps. It's really easy to do. And we're just generating that flexibility within the toe joints. Hinge to the back of the knee. So try and keep the spine nice and centered. So even though you're going to be doing this action, arms can just hang, or you might want them to the front of your hips. Try not to do things like this or stick the bum out too much. Just try and have the spine just as centered as it is when you're standing with your weight on that be well spot. So as you fold and soften to the front of the hips and the front of the ankles, where do you notice any tension? And you may not notice any tension. For me, it's definitely my ankles. And then you come back up. So just noticing the tensions and the ease within the body, especially to the front of the ankles, the knee joints and the front of the hips as they soften. And whether or not the pelvis wants to shift and balance around, whether the spine wants to change also from that centered position. Have the back of the neck long. Doing this a few more times. One thing to notice is that we really want the feet to be facing forwards. Many of us have the feet turned out, especially. And when we bend the knees, our knees like to do this. So think about the knees tracking forwards. Lovely. So again, just noticing, and has this movement started to soften? So the area of tension, especially to my front ankles, I feel that it's softening the more I do this. So we've done our acupressure point, so we've focused on the feet, we've done our big toe push-ups, we're now doing this squatting. And what I'd like us to do next is just to notice, we're going to take the foot back just a little. Again, you can use the wall or your chair to help you balance. Just kind of, what does that feel like? So you've got your, hope you can see me, yeah you can, good. You've got your heel lifted, and again, we're in that big toe joint especially. How does it feel if you rock onto your heel and then come back onto your toes? So just softly pressing the heel down, but what we really want is that motion of coming up onto the big toe. So just do that a few times, center the spine, have that sense of being upwardly lifted towards the sky. And then the big toe that it pushes us off to propel ourselves forward, let's just put the toe down, roll back on the heel and flick ourselves up. Again, do use, I'm going to bring my chair over, a chair or a wall to help you balance. So you're coming big toe, be well spot, heel, flick up from the heel. So we're really rolling over the whole of the sole of the foot, working into the big toe joints, that soft landing of the heel and then the flicking up. So let's do that to the other side. Again, not a balance competition, but if you want it to be a balance competition for yourself, then you can. You don't need to use the support, but competition's a pretty strong word. Make sure that the jaw's nice and soft if you are trying to balance. Don't overwork yourself. You're going to take your other foot back, and again, we're just on the toes. We're just having a sense how the toes feel, and the supporting leg, have the knee a little soft, and you're just going to press the heel down softly and then come back onto the toes. So how does that feel in your toe joint? Big toe joint especially. Doing this a few times, have that sense of kind of rocking up in space, calming back down. How does the heel feel? And really noticing that be well acupressure point. That helps us center. Lovely. Next time the heel's down, just lift the knee up, foot down, so you're on the big toe joint, ball of foot, heel presses, and then you come up. So you roll from big toe to heel, then heel to big toe. We're just using the earth to spring ourselves up. So this movement of the foot in walking, you know, we're not going to walk around with the knee being lifted unless you're completely flamboyant and you want to behave like that, then that's fine. But just this sense of rolling from toe to heel, from heel to toe, will give you that spring in your step. So come to stillness. Maybe walk around the space that you're in, having a sense of being on that be well spot, so that the feet track forwards, the knees track forwards, and you've got just that slight buoyant flick as you move around the room. Because we've created calmness and groundedness by focusing on the soles of the feet. We've really paid attention to the big toe joint, the front of the ankles, the tracking of the knees. We've put in some nice buoyant motion, and maybe your walk will feel a little more spring-like, so that you can spring and surge forward to the afternoon, if you're in the UK, that lies ahead of you. So I hope you enjoyed that move with ease. I'm not here next Monday as I'm away training with Jing clinical massage therapy, but I'll be back the following week. So do look after yourselves, and I'll see you soon. Take care.